Hi there, I'm Wendy and welcome to my channel where I share knitting and crochet tutorial videos for my projects and techniques. And today's video is a knitting video and I'm going to show you how to separate the body and sleeves when you're working a top-down sweater. Now this sweater here is a raglan top-down sweater and I've used UK double knitting wool and I've got 4mm needles. So if we just take a quick look at the pictures here, you can see that I've started at the neckline and I've increased outwards almost like an umbrella shape over my shoulders, and I'm now at the point where I'm ready to divide for the body and the sleeves. So just before we make a start, if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe and you'll get to hear when my latest videos and updates go live. And if you enjoy this video, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up as well. But for now, we'll get straight on with dividing the body and sleeves on this top-down sweater. Now I've just knitted across the back of my sweater and I've reached my beginning of round marker, which I'm going to remove now. And the next stitches ahead of me here are the stitches that are held on my sleeve. So they're going to be the upper sleeve stitches. Now my pattern has asked me to put these 60 stitches on hold, which is what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to use a blunt-ended ball-type darning needle. And I've put a double thread through it. Now it's up to you whether you use double or single as waste yarn. It's just whatever is your preference. And I'm just going to transfer those 60 stitches onto the waste yarn now. And I'll continue this and meet you when I've popped these 60 stitches all onto the waste yarn. So I've now popped all my 60 stitches on some waste yarn and I'm now back at the main body of the sweater again. So I'm now at the front section. So I'm just going to remove my marker. Now I like to leave quite a long loop with my waste yarn so that my stitches aren't pulled really tightly. So I'm just going to give that a little knot here. So now I've done that, I'm almost ready to join the back section of my work here to the front section here, but the pattern has asked me to cast on 12 stitches. So again, your pattern will tell you how many stitches to cast on, but you usually need to cast on some stitches to go in this area here, which is the underarm area. And the easiest way to create those stitches is to use the back loop way of casting on, and it gives a very soft edge under the arm as well, so you won't have a thick bulky seam. So to work the back loop cast on method, I've got the tip of the knitting needle pointing away from me and I have my yarn coming out to the left. Now I'm going to go through this a few times with you, but if you need to see this in more detail, I'll pop a link in above here now and in the description notes below to take you to my video that just focuses on making the back loop cast on. So I'm going to have my hand pointing away from me with my palm down, and I'm going to be picking up the yarn between my thumb and my forefinger, but I'm going to turn my hand inwards towards my rib cage with my elbow going out, and then I'm going to pick the yarn up and turn my hand back out. So I should have a loop where the top thread is coming towards me. Then I can just pop that loop on my needle and that's one stitch made, and then I just pull it up so it sits snugly on my needle, not too tight and not too loosely. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I've got my hand pointing outwards with my palm down. I'm going to turn my hand in towards me and then I'm going to pick up that thread, turn my hand back to its normal position, and I've got a loop and the upper thread is coming towards me here. And then I'm going to pop that loop on the needle and just snug it up. So I'll do that again. Hand goes out, comes towards me. I'm going to pick up with my thumb and my forefinger that thread and turn my hand back round and I have a loop. Then I just pop the loop on my knitting needle and snug it up, and I've got 3 stitches made. So I'm just going to carry on now, working these back loops until I've got 12 stitches on my needle. So I should have 12 stitches, and I'm now ready to join up to the front section of my sweater. So I literally now can just knit across this front section. So I'll do a few stitches for you. So if we take a look now, we can see we've got all the upper arm stitches on hold, and I've knitted across and created this underarm section, and now joined the back section to the front section of the main body of the sweater. So now I'm going to knit across till I get to the next sleeve, and I'll go through the process again with you. And I'll meet you back here when I reach that other sleeve. And I'll remove my stitch marker, and I'm now ready to put my upper sleeve stitches onto some waste yarn. So for me, in this pattern, it's 60 stitches, so I've got my needle and my waste yarn ready, and I'm going to do that now. So I've now got my upper sleeve stitches on my waste yarn, and just like before, I'm going to tie the ends together, leaving the loop quite loose. So I'll just secure those off. So I've now joined together my loop, holding my upper arm stitches on the waste yarn, and I'm ready to join my front section to the back section. But again, I need to cast on 12 stitches according to my pattern, and this is to go in the underarm section between the front and the back of the body. So now I'm going to cast on those stitches with the back loop cast on method, and I've got the tip of the needle pointing away from me and my yarn coming out to the left. So again, I've got my hand pointing away. I'm going to turn it in, grab the yarn and turn my hand back, and I've created a loop that I can just pop onto my needle. So that's one stitch cast on. Then again, I'm going to point my hand in towards myself, grab that yarn and turn my hand back, and then pop that loop on the needle. So I'll continue doing this until I've got 12 stitches cast onto my needle. Okay, so now I've got my 12 stitches cast on, and I'm ready to now just start knitting across the back of my sweater again as normal. So I'll knit a few stitches, and then we can just take a look at what we've got. So now if we take a look at this, we can see that we've got all our stitches connected up, and we can continue working the main body of our sweater, and we've got the sleeves separated and they're ready to come back and knit at a later date. And then if we take a look at this on the dummy, you can see that the sweater is now really taking shape. So I hope you found this video useful for learning how to divide the sleeves away from the main body of your sweater. And I'll say for now, happy knitting, and thanks a lot for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!